gentlemen, welcome to the Real Riff podcast. My name is Bill Markey, aka Nikos Ricos,
My name is Thomas Angelo.
and this week we've got a big one.
I'm so
We've
I'm
got
so excited.
I'm excited for this, and I'm excited, as we were just saying before we hit record, to hear you talk about this based on your letterbox review.
Hmm.
So we are talking all things one battle after another, which is one hell of a movie. This is a movie that is directed by Paul Thomas Anderson, written by Paul Thomas Anderson and Thomas Hinchon. It's produced by Adam Summer, Sarah Murphy, and Paul Thomas Anderson. It stars Leonardo DiCaprio, Sean Penn, Benicio del Toro, Tiana Taylor, Regina Hall, Chase Infinity, and John Hugenacker. This movie is about Bob, who is a washed up ex revolutionary who's living off the grid in a constant state of paranoia as he tries to protect his daughter, who we're going to get into his mother. Not going to talk about everything right now, but when his evil nemesis resurfaces and his daughter goes missing, Bob scrambles to find her as he reunites with some of his revolutionaries from back in the day. Couple other little notes about this film. The composer, because we're definitely going to talk about the
Hmm.
music,
Hmm.
is Johnny Greenwood. The cinematographer, which I know you're going to have a lot to say about, is Michael Bauman. Um, just going to cover a couple more things. It's distributed by Warner Brothers. Again, another big movie. It's one big hit after another for them this year. It's IMDb. Just going to mention this right off the bat, is an 8.5 at the moment. Its Rotten
Wow,
Tomatoes is damn near perfect at 96%.
that's
It's an
awesome.
it's an A cinema score, and I'm just going to cover the budget while we're at it. It's somewhere between 130 and 175. Apparently, it's not a confirmed number. Right now, it's pulled in almost 50 million. This we're closing in on 50 million by now. It might be
Nice. That's
for the
that's
box
you know what?
office.
I know it has. It's I think it's probably got to get to like 300 to break even, but
Yeah.
that's still pretty good for
Yeah, because
this
you usually
movie.
have to to make profit like double the budget,
Yeah.
especially with the marketing. They are going hard on the marketing. So yeah, we've got quite the movie, definitely one of the biggest, if not the biggest film of the year in terms of, the quality of the film and whatnot, and what we're looking at for the award season, which we'll get into maybe how we feel where it's going to fare then. So with that being said, you raved about this movie before I saw it. I saw it on Thursday. You saw it on what, Wednesday?
I saw it Wednesday night. This
Yep.
to
Your
describe my
letter.
experience. So I'm in
Can you
Chicago.
please mention your letterbox review real quick
We'll
for
get to we'll
everybody?
get to it. We'll get to it. Relax.
Okay.
So I saw this in Chicago because I'm currently going to film school in Chicago at the Music Box Theater, and it was projected on 70 millimeter, which that is 1,000% the way to see this movie. It is beautiful. It was actually shot using a very old camera system, VistaVision, which I think it has to have been multiple decades since a movie's been projected in VistaVision.
Can
And
you
this,
explain the 70 millimeter and what that means real quick with the Vista Vision?
I mean, this is the different format of film, so it's more expansive. The type of film, it's the type of film that like Tarantino used for like the Hateful Eight. And I don't know if you heard, but like when Tarantino was going to make Hateful Eight, he wanted to make something that reminded him of like going back to the movies in the day, and things were like a show, and they felt big and bombastic, and it wasn't like you were just renting a seat. It was like you were immersed into it. It was the big, blown out 70 millimeter. And like for film stocks like 65 millimeter or 70 millimeter, they're very grainy, so when you blow them up for the big screen, the grain kind of like fades in, so it has like a very specific look to it that I think is like really pretty. And just seeing this, especially I'm sure an IMAX 70 millimeter, so that's how I saw Oppenheimer, that's how I saw Dune 2, and those are two of the most immersive film experiences ever. I wish I was in an area where they were showing this in IMAX 70 millimeter, but unfortunately Chicago, for some reason, doesn't have that. But I still got to see it in 70 millimeter, so I'm happy. And it was
That's how
just
I'm going to try to see it my second time is IMAX 70. Yeah.
good
We
luck.
have
That's
one
good
here.
luck. That's hard. That's
We
yeah, in New York.
we uh we have one at Monmouth.
No, it's
Wait,
in New York City. There's not a
I thought
film.
we have one in Jersey.
You have an IMAX theater, but not IMAX 70.
Oh
that's a
shit.
different stock, dude.
I misread Fandango.
Yeah, so unfortunately, you will have to go to New York City if you want to do that. But that does make it way more immersive. That's how Paul PTA wanted you to see this. I mean, he wants you to see it projected in VistaVision, which is in a very, very select number of theaters, even more than that. Probably just in New York and LA, I would think somewhere. But like
Mm.
seeing it in VistaVision, that's even more different. That's the greatest way to see this movie, and I wish I could see it in that. Just unfortunately, I can't. But this is probably one of the best movies I've seen in a very long time. It's the most immersed I've been in a movie since like Dune 2, where like I was not thinking about the filmmaking. I was not thinking about anything. I was just absorbed and immersed in, and that's what I'll leave it at for now. I think this is, if there's any movie that's worth going to the theater to see this year, it is definitely this, and this definitely needs the support because we want to show people like Warner Brothers that they should be giving this amount of money to auteur directors like PTA.
I loved it. I remember you said when I was picking my show times for Thursday, you were like hammering me down to see it in IMAX, and I was not going to be able to make it work for my schedule unless it was like 3 days, 4 days after the film came out, and I was itching to see this movie, so I just saw it regular screen. I will go back in IMAX 100% to see this movie again. And that was interesting what you said about Dune or Dune 2, because I remember when we first met roughly, you were saying Dune 2 was something that reminded you or like why you want to do
Yeah, and this is another one where it's
what
like
you're doing.
I see
Yeah.
a movie like this and I'm immediately motivated to go write something.
Did you do it? Did you end up writing?
Not yet. I've been so busy that I
Yeah.
haven't. Like I usually get like 2 days a week where I really try and just write shit out. I mean, I would be doing it every day if I could, just schedule wise. I
Yeah.
can't. But God, I'm very motivated to make something now after seeing this.
I mean, the thing for me is like like the first thing that stood out to me is just the performances. Like the performances were incredible. I don't,
Who was your standout for this?
it's going to be very predictable, what I'm about to say because of how I feel about this actor. Um, but even though he's not in it much, I mean, I am a sucker for Benicio del Toro. And I mean, for what he does with the limited, and not in a bad way, limited screen time he gets, like, don't get me wrong, this is probably Sean
Yeah,
Penn's
yeah,
movie
but
in terms of who dominated
Benicio's
it.
whole like section in the Bacton Cross town during the
Oh,
protest, it's he like takes control of the movie. It's like he
he
literally takes
does.
control of your eyes and you're just following him. And I heard in interviews that like when Benicio came into the process, because he kind of came in later because his schedule was different. He was working on a different movie, and I think they actually stopped production on one battle just to wait for him. Like that's how much of a necessity he was.
I think I heard the same
he
thing.
he
Yeah.
came in and like he added so much to it. Apparently he added so much nuance to the whole immigration side of the plot, which that covers so much thematically of what this movie means. And God, he has such a presence in this film. Every single character, because really this is like a DiCaprio, Penn, and Chase Infinity's movie. They're the three kind of characters that we really follow plot wise. But the other side characters who don't have as much screen time, they still like haunt this movie.
Mm.
You know, especially like Tiana Taylor who plays Perfidia Beverly Hills, like the girl from the prologue. Like she doesn't have much screen time in this movie, but she like her presence is so haunting over this film, and like you feel it in almost every shot. It's
Yeah.
he makes like he gets a lot of juice out of the squeeze for all these performances. Like he is crazy. It is crazy.
It's crazy. I agree because when these actors and these actors pop up in these these, well, not smaller, well, in their limited, again, not in a bad way, in their limited moments, like the three that come to mind are really the four. It's Benicio, it's Regina Hall, it's Tiana Taylor, and it's John Hugenacker. Like when they're there, like they dominate the film for the minutes that they're given. But then it doesn't get lost on how good, like again, and how it is Leo, Sean's, and Chase's movie, really.
And she's
But
amazing for it being her first role ever. She like goes toe to toe with Sean
yeah,
Penn and DiCaprio, and she's a Chicago native too. And she was saying in an interview, she was like, the Music Box is probably the best place to see this movie.
wow.
So yeah.
That's like even when you're like No Country and you're like, oh shit, Woody's in this movie, and when Woody Harrelson's in it, you're like, damn. And then he's gone. Like, and then you're back to like,
But it's
okay,
like
this
you
is the
feel this movie, and you could feel a lot of the
yeah,
Coen brother influence over this. That's also to say, because this movie is basically loosed off Vineland, which was written by Thomas Pynchon, and Thomas Pynchon also wrote
right.
Inherent Vice,
Oh,
the book
okay,
that the book that Inherent Vice is based on, which is also called
gotcha.
Inherent Vice because they're both based on Pynchon novels. This one, I know PTA made it more of his own, like the Christmas Adventures Club, like that's him. He added that.
Yeah,
I think this certain like not getting into spoilers yet, but think certain like surreal elements that he added, but it still does feel like a Pynchon novel, and Pynchon, it feels very reminiscent of like Coen Brothers and their type of style of like Western epic-y
yeah.
kind of that kind of feels like you can feel the No Country influence over this movie, but this one I think is a bit more just fast breakneck speed versus like the slow kind of haunting approach that No Country for Old Men takes. Like
Hmm.
No Country for Old Men's more reflective. This is more like go getter type of like just like it's breakneck. But anything else you want to add?
No, I think we should get into spoilers because I am dying to talk about one chunk of this movie that I think encapsulates what you're talking about
Sean
regarding the
Sean
break
Penn definitely is gonna win this supporting.
100%.
Definitely, like
Um,
his performance, just like without spoiling it, is he probably has my favorite like antagonist performance since Hans Landa in Inglorious Bastards.
it's a great comparison. Yeah, in
Where it's
terms
the
of
type of
not,
villain that can make you laugh and feel like kind of like he's like a goofball in 1 second, but
yeah.
can turn on another thing and become horrifying in another.
No, I actually, I didn't think of that. That's like an insanely fair. Um, actually, am I, now you got the ball rolling with that. Is it almost like a little bit like Leo and Django, where it's like when he's there, you're like the way that he comes across is goofy and soft and easy, and the next thing you know, when he snaps, he
A little
snaps.
bit. I think Leo's character in Django's a bit more bumbling. Like he's not really like that smart. Like
Mm,
obviously Samuel L. Jackson's character is like the head of that whole like plantation in that film.
true.
What I will say is Sean Penn's character in this is this very layered in terms of like he he truly believes in this Christmas Adventurers Club and he believes he has a higher calling, but their necessarily like baseline philosophy of life goes against how his heart truly feels. So he doesn't want to admit who he really is just because he feels like he has this higher calling. It's the most narcissistic mindset ever. And I
Yeah.
think is like a huge like problem in America today, just as it is. Like there's so many people like him. And like they're the true problem with society. Like just these people who they actually feel like good things in their heart and whatnot, but like they literally just cannot put it into the world and just do like horrible things and say horrible things just to like clean up their mess. And it's just people who don't want to like admit who they truly are, and that's ultimately what gets him killed in this film, which is very ironic. But
There was a our favorite critic, Sean Fennessy, like blew my mind when he said who he feels Sean Penn depicted this role after, which is
oh, Vince McMahon, right?
Vince McMahon. I was like, wow. Like as somebody who is a wrestler, I've seen Vince McMahon backstage when I wrestled for Monday Night Raw, and the way that Vince walks and he carries himself, I'm like, oh my God, he is so right about this. Um, his stiff wooden walk, the way he talks, and you're like, there's more behind your eyes, but why are you not like what you said? Like
Yeah.
there's more there, and you're not letting us in because you have to put this, this thing, this out to the world, this person who you're not really, that's not really who you are. And we did find out in real life, there's Vince McMahon, as they said in WWE, then there's Mr. McMahon.
Yeah.
And Mr. McMahon on screen was different from Vince. And we've learned in real life, Vince McMahon got into some trouble. There was some other
Mm-hmm.
shit going on behind the camera.
Very
So I
much
thought that
so.
was a very fair comparison. To jump into something to go off what you were saying about the breakneck speed, that chunk, the Backton, I think it's the Backton Cross, what you were saying, that
The
the sequence where
protest.
Ben, yeah, or is it like when Benicio comes in and the sequence where like where Leo gets on the payphone and that whole thing starts and he finds Benicio, that to me is where the movie went. Like, I
It's
mean,
it's
put
it's
their,
when it's to me where this movie really taps into some sort of magic is the scene where Benicio is walking through the entire like apartment building where he's like it's very much clear that where we learn that Benicio's character Sensei Sergio San Carlos is a great name.
name.
Yeah, all the character names are so good in this.
Yeah.
But it's when we learn that like he's the leader of this like immigration movement, this kind of Harriet Tubman esque.
He literally says, he goes, I got
Yeah.
some Harriet Tubman shit going
Yes.
on
Yeah.
at that
Yeah.
place.
Yeah. He literally has that line. It's just the like that entire sequence where he's just introducing him to everybody, and he like, even though the whole section is like breakneck panic, like there's like a war zone happening, Benicio's taking the time to like take Leo's character Bob and be like, hey, no, this is Margaret. Meet Margaret. Like shake her
Yep.
hand. Like everything. Like he humanizes everybody that he passes, and it like shows. It immediately just tells us who he is as a character, like visually, and like keeping the movie going without like stopping and like revealing character details. Like we just learn who he is through his actions. You know.
I love how when Leo's stopping because he just so needs to charge his phone,
Yes.
but he's not just like, yeah, yeah, okay. He's actually respecting him,
He is.
and
He is.
he's like he grabs a little girl by the hand. He's like, "Hi, nice to meet you." Okay,
Yes.
like he's in a rush, but he's literally. I mean, he's treating him like what he is, a sensei. Like he's giving him the respect of like actually saying hi to everybody. It was such a cool scene.
Mm-hmm.
I even loved it threw me off. I was like, wait a minute, is that the answer to Leo's question? Where, and I don't think anything came of it, but I was curious what you thought when when the guy's like, what time? And he's like, I don't know what time. And in the other room, but he used to go 8:15. But like, he says 8:15, but that's not the answer. Leo doesn't say it. I'm like, what was that?
He was
There was
saying the
this
actual time.
the actual time that got
Yeah.
lost. I'm like, is Benicio just throwing out? But he's so cool. Like, I love the difference between the two of them.
Mm-hmm.
There is a frantic thing going on at the time, and Leo is being so nuts, and
Yes.
Benicio is just taking the time. You want a beer? Do you want a Modelo? While like shit is going down, like that
There's
scene
just so
is
much random little like subtle choices made, like when Leo just says like life, like he just like screams it out, like it's just
yeah.
such odd things, like it's so interesting, this whole movie. It just it feels like this is the most like specific choices I've seen a director make, and like that's what I feel like I always preach about this podcast is like I just want to see specific weird nuanced things, and that's all this movie is. I
Yeah.
mean, just from like like it's the type, this movie has the type of opening where you're just like, oh, like I can sit back, like I know I'm in good hands, like I know what I'm about to watch is gonna be really good, so I get to sit back and relax and not be like, is this gonna be good, you know what I mean.
Did you
It's
feel
like
that
I can
way
just
right
sit
off?
back. Yeah, from the moment that you see Perfidia just walking and that score by Johnny Greenwood's playing, and it's like she's walking this one way and Bob's walking the other, and it's just like from the moment the movie starts, they're in it, they just keep walking, and I think that kind of goes on with like the cyclical theme of the movie being like some people are just always in a battle, like whether they're born
Yeah.
into it, whether they're participating in it, whether they're observing it, there's always some battle, and it's just like it's never stopping. And I think that's what the movie's really commenting on. It's just like them just walking the opposite ways. I don't know. There's something about it, you know. And it's just
And
like it's just from the
oh, go ahead.
moment the moment the movie starts, it's like, oh, I'm in good hands. Like this is I'm in a
Yeah.
very specific zone right now.
And when like you brought up like the music, the score in this, that little that dun, 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 that one note that keeps going,
Yeah.
it just adds, it's like to me the score that Hans Zimmer does in Interstellar on like the water planet. It's just this nagging little like
This
it makes
score
you
is
more
yeah, this score is very similar to all his other scores.
Is it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Like it's just such a it adds. It's like a fun score, but it adds to, at least for me, like the anxiety of some of those scenes. Where I'm just like, ooh, I like this little thing is,
Especially during like the car final hill chase scene, the score that's
ooh,
playing there, it's very just like all over the place piano, like very
yeah,
odd and quirky, but it just works. It's so
yeah.
specific. It's so specific of a choice. It just works. You know.
It's crazy too, because if you describe this movie, if somebody, and people will be asking me, like personal training clients of mine, no doubt will be asking me about this film. And it's a movie where it's like, and to its credit, when I describe the movie and then I go, but wait a minute, it's funny, it's action packed, and it's just fucking ridiculous in all the best ways. They're gonna be like, wait, that the movie you just described has that in it?
Yeah.
Like that's what's so cool about the movie. So when you talk about this movie, like the hypnosis, and then but you say, but it's also got this, and these elements, and Leo's hilarious and whatnot, and
Well,
it's just it's
this movie has a lot of, in my opinion, successful tone changes
100%.
because each of the tone changes, there's a reason behind them, and it pushes the story logically forward, but also interestingly forward.
Yeah.
Like the Christmas Adventurers Club. It's very on. It's
I can't
very
get
on.
over that name.
It's very on the nose. It's very goofy. It's very funny, but it's also very sad and tragic. And it's like it's like the most like white supremacist thing, and it's like associating Christianity and the idea of holiness and faith around that feels like a very like specific choice. And it's like that whole sequence feels like a bit out of South Park, like almost.
Mm,
It feels like really
yeah,
ripped from the pages of South Park
I can see
in
that.
terms of just that like political satirical nature. But it still pushes the story forward in a logical way for this world that he's created. And it's like it shouldn't work, but it just works. But I think it's because PTAs is making such specific choices. Like from the visual technical side, like this is just he has a hold over that. He has a mastery over that. So it's like now looking to how he can play around with these different pieces and juggle all of the different plot lines here. But he still does it and it just works, even when it probably shouldn't, but it just works.
No, when there's a one moment you're getting this gripping scene of emotion, but then next thing you know, the movie, I guess if this is fair to say, wants you to laugh at the next scene. No part of me is like, oh, I'm recovering from that last scene. Like I'm willing, I'm with the movie.
No,
Like
yeah,
I'm gonna
100%.
laugh when it wants me to laugh. I'm gonna feel emotional when it wants me to make me feel emotional. Like it doesn't feel like, whoa, what that's an interesting tonal shift. I wasn't ready for that. Like the movie just has such a flow to it that
It
it's
does.
just it's your
It has this flow that doesn't stop, and it just got me immersed into it. Like I couldn't stop thinking about it.
yeah.
Like I didn't even like think about how I was watching a movie during it. I was just immersed from the moment it started, from the moment it ends. Like when we first there was that like the helicopter shot during like the escape scene during the
The
prologue
running.
of the running, and it felt
Oh,
so gritty and real. But then
yeah.
an hour later we have the whole, Hark the Herald Angels Sing Christmas Adventure Club's reveal with the mansion and the whole tunnels under it and the Hail Saint Nick and all of that, and like he's wearing like that dad fit, the Tim character of the Christmas Club, like he's wearing that dad
Yes.
fit where
Yeah.
it's like that jacket that has like the sleeveless, like that shit that my dad wears. Like
Yes. Yeah.
it feels like your suburb dad turned like assassin. Like it should not work in this grounded racial commentary, but it just does.
Yeah.
It just, why does it work? I really can't tell you why. I just think it's the PTA specific choices. I don't know. It just works so fucking well.
Where is this for you when it comes to performances by Leo?
It's definitely up there. I
Yeah.
wouldn't say this is as like mind-bendingly transformative as like Wolf of Wall Street or Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. What it really feels like is it feels like Rick Dalton times 10. This feels like if you put Rick Dalton on crack.
Right.
That's who Bob Ferguson is. Bob is such an interesting protagonist to follow just because he's kind of like that bumbling white guy who like wants to be part of this revolution, but like I don't really fully know why he's a part of this revolution. It kind of feels like he's he's kind of like bumbling around, like he's not really like he wants to be a part of it, but like maybe he's like kind of this bumbly, like you can tell he wants to be more of a family man.
Yeah,
And there's that great scene where Perfidia's mom is like, "You are so unsuitable for my daughter." And it's like it makes sense because like in this movie, it's like the revolutionaries are the ones who are like taking action. Like they're on top of things, they're smart, they're calculated. But then you get like a conflict where like Perfidia gives everybody up, and then you get like that horrible sequence of like everyone getting executed.
crazy sequence.
Which like when the one girl like walks out of the emergency exit door and just gets popped, like that got me.
Yeah,
This is a lot, but like what I love about all the characters in this film is there's like a lot of nuance to them. It's like did Perfidia like get any enjoyment out of what she was doing with Lockjaw, like sexually, or was that just a power thing for her? Like was she using him? Was she enjoying it? Like you don't fully know, and I think that's why her presence, because she kind of leaves the movie in the beginning and you don't see her again. It's like, but her character is so complicated, and it's like a virus that spreads to all the other characters, where it's like it leaves like this nuanced sense of like lingering in all of them, and that's why her presence like haunts this film so much.
yeah.
It's an insane presence to have in this film.
And I just love how in certain movies that character by with a different writer director could have came back. I like that,
It would have
like,
been a lesser movie if she did.
yeah. I love that she doesn't come back. And I think that credits to what you were saying about the way she just haunts this movie is that we hear her at the end, but we never get to see her again, but we get to see the ramifications of her choices,
Yep.
like, and how she shifted. Like, just to see how these characters all shifted is just incredible versus where they were in the beginning of the movie at one point in their lives, and then how now their past is. It was like a car speeding down my block as usual. Um, and just like I don't know, the idea of like, you know, is this like in your opinion, it's like one of the tones of this movie, like, what like your past is just going to follow you?
100%.
Yeah.
I think it's like your whatever. It's like your environment is who you are, like what you're
Yeah.
born into. I think that definitely plays a lot into it. I think a lot of people say like this is like, oh, a father daughter movie, and that's 100% true because I mean, PTA is the father of I think like two biracial kids. So
Yeah.
like you can like feel that in this movie, but like there's more so like this is another one of those movies where I kind of compared it to The Long Walk, where it's so interesting the time period that it's releasing in. It's like how it
Yes.
connects to us like politically in our current culture. Because because in this film, it kind of like it doesn't like not it makes a case for political violence in a sense.
Mm.
It does kind of make a case for political violence in that I think a lot of people are gonna misinterpret Perfidia snitching on everybody as like it being a cautionary tale about political violence, because I don't think it is. I think that was more so playing like that is like the political commentary side of it playing into like the parental side of the story. Like she was gonna give everybody up just so her daughter could be safe, you know,
Yeah. I
and
mean,
also
she
just so
does.
she could live. But it, it's kind of playing into like you have the parental side and then you have like the revolutionary side, and it also was like people are just gonna be who they are. Like Perfidia was a revolutionary inside and out. That's why the
Yeah.
mom was like, "You're so unsuitable for my daughter," because Leo wasn't 100% a revolutionary. Like he wanted
Right.
to be this family man too. As soon as he has a kid, he's like, that life's over. Like we're a family now. Like he's like, why aren't you playing the familial role? It's because she is who she is and she isn't gonna change. And I actually thought the fact that she just disappears from the story because she just is who she is and she's never gonna change. I thought that was just a beautiful choice of writing, because people don't just change like that.
Right.
Like a kid sometimes isn't enough to change somebody. People are just who they are. And
So
I thought that was a really nice choice.
is that like a similarity in a way between like she maintains, she even says at one point to Leo, she says something like she says something like, I'm always going to pick me, like
And she
when he
does, yeah.
mentions, but like him and Lockjaw in different ways, of course, it's like, well, you are, you were, are this person, but deep down, you're really this other person. Like to where she's like the constant, this is who I am.
Yeah.
Where
And
like,
it's also, it's like, what does war like bring out of us? Like, who are we when we're in a battle versus when we're not? And
true.
it is kind of just, we're just seeing how these situations, what these situations pull out of these people. And like we see, like it brings Willa's character, you know, Chase Infinity's character, to ultimately have to kill somebody. It ultimately
Yeah.
does like stain her, and like she is never gonna be able to escape the battle that she was born into. And I think that kind of speaks a lot to the world that we're living in. Like some people are just born into these environments and can't change. Some people just can't change. Some people are just born into these ever going battles, and it's like, what's the solution to that? The movie doesn't really give you a solution. It is kind of like, there is the hopeful ending of like the father and daughter reunited together, and she's gonna be continuing her mother's legacy. But there is also like the nuance of that being like, is that the best ending? Is that a good ending? Like
Right.
there is
But
a
it's not
nuance to
like,
it.
but it's like what, like it's not like Leo. In a way, I think like, what did Leo learn? Because he's not stopping her.
No,
Because I guess he knows he can't.
it is almost like he kind of learned his lesson. Like some people
Right.
just don't change. Like this, you are just who you're born into. It. You can't really outrun who you are in like
Right.
internally. And I think that's kind of what Willa's ending is essentially explaining about her. And I think Bob just being like a bumbling like drug addict, like that explains who he really is. Like he wants a more quiet lifestyle. Like he
Yeah.
was able to change and move on from his past. Obviously it comes back to haunt him. And really his whole character is this one long like chase sequence, and he arrives too late, you know?
I feel like
He
if
is too late to pull his daughter out of the cycle
right.
of war, you know?
I like wonder if like again, you said yourself, we never really know why or what motivated him to be part of the French 75,
We don't really know who what drove him to do that.
which makes me almost wonder, again, similar to Lockjaw, it's like, well, are you, were you really that person? Or like back in his younger form, the French 75, like was that really who you were, or did you just do it because of influences? Like because who you really are is the person, in my opinion, who we, where we are with Bob present day. Like that's who he
That is
is.
who he is because that's what his
Right.
choices brought him to. You know, that is
So
where he's landed.
which which makes me think like, and we've seen this before again on both sides, that there are individuals who have joined certain movements because it was whatever, on social media it was a popular thing to do, or because X amount of people are doing it. I mean, there were people, again, this happens on both sides. There were people who were legitimately interviewed. I've seen interviews at certain rallies or riots, and they had like all, they almost didn't even know what they were there for. They were there because it was like, well, there was a, this is the thing to do. I was influenced and motivated by society at this time. It's like, yeah, but that's not who you really are.
Yeah.
If that's who you really are, that's one thing.
I think a really interesting companion piece to this film is Eddington. I
Ah,
think Eddington is more so
ooh,
about
yeah,
Eddington's more so about us as a culture. I think
yeah,
one battle after another speaking to a more larger demographic, but Eddington is more about us. But there is a nice companion piece aspect to these two films. One battle
yeah,
after another is a more hopeful, I think, look at it.
yeah.
Eddington's obviously the more cynical, dark look at it, like from the mind of Ari Aster, but it's speaking to our current climate of like people are who they are. We are born into what we're born into, and we can't really escape that. And sometimes people are just born into negative, war filled, crime filled lifestyles, and we can't escape that. But then everyone's always just going to be finger pointing and blaming something, and that's why we are who we are. It's really it's an interest. I think like for how experimental this movie is filmmaking wise, in terms of like you using VistaVision and all the unique shot setups and choices and just the choices to what to shoot and when. It's so interesting that this film also can balance and land all of like its thematic juice while also just primarily being an action film, like a film that's one
Right.
large chase sequence. after the prologue finishes, it's
Oh,
like,
you got me thinking about something too, just bringing it back to like real life, where there is that thing, because this is now like there's the elements of the environment you're born into, and then there's also parenting, because we do have people, there have been plenty of successful people who were born in a really shitty environment, but they had the correct structure or parents to help get them out of it. Like I've heard celebrities talk about, or whoever, athletes say, well, I was really born in this terrible environment, but thank God for my mother, my
yeah.
dad, both, to pull us out of it so we didn't fall into our environment's issues. But in this movie, like, yeah, Willa is born into a shitty environment, but look at also who her parent is. Like, who does she become if maybe her parent wasn't Bob, and
Yeah.
maybe it was somebody who is more structured, who can be like, look, this is what me and your mother did. I'm going to do everything I can to steer you out of this. Like, so I think, in my opinion, there's this element of, yeah, you could be born into a certain environment, but it doesn't necessarily mean that's also how you're going to be. Because who are your parents? What's the household you're
No,
raised in?
it's, but I think a parent is an aspect of your situation, you know?
Right. No,
So
100%.
that's why I would still say it's like you are who your
Right, that
environment
is the
is, you
environment. Oh,
know?
you're saying that's it's right.
Yeah.
Because there has been people like I hope I'm quoting the right person, who was like, I believe it was like Denzel Washington once talked about like the environment he was born into and whatnot, but the individuals that helped him like not fall into that. So like he still had the right people to pull him out of that. Where she's in a shitty environment, again, it's all the same thing, I guess, but not with anybody who can also help yank her out of it. So it's an interesting mix. I don't know. Like the more I think about the movie, it makes me more excited to see it again and
There's a
like
lot to go over.
think about it further. Do you want to talk about that sequence,
Which one?
that ending sequence? Because that was one of the most gripping moments for me in a movie theater this
The
year.
hill, like the
The
hills, the
hills.
car, yeah.
Yeah. Like as just what was happening in that, and then just the way it was shot.
I don't even know how they shot that. It is utterly insane what they were able to accomplish with that. I've never seen a desert shot like that before. And think
Yeah.
about how many westerns and how many different types of movies we have. Like, it was so immersive because it was stuff I haven't seen before. The
In
way
what
that it
way?
was done, just like
What were
the
some
I've
specifics?
never felt like this up and down
Yes.
motion.
Physically,
Yeah,
right?
physically, like
Yeah.
while I'm watching it, like you could
Sorry, I'm
feel it.
yelling.
You could fucking feel it, dude. It's like it's you. It feels like your neck and your face are going up with the camera going
Yes.
up and down as it was going up and down these hills. It was this weird gravity to it. It was
I
insane.
described it to one of my clients as I actually felt like it felt like you were on a roller coaster. Like that's the part in the movie where I sat up, and if I remember correctly, I had my hands on each seat, like I was holding on. Like I felt that not just visually, like in my body. Like, oh, like, ooh, what's over the next hill? Ooh, what's over and like physically, I was like, holy shit! Like I feel this in my chest,
Yes.
which goes back to what you're saying about the movie being immersive, and then factor in like the score along with like you're with it, but then you're thinking, is Bob going to get to her? Where's Bob? Where's Bob? How's he going to? So that I'm taking into account what's happening
Yeah.
elsewhere while still on this roller coaster ride. And the way they shot that, yeah, that might be my favorite sequence, like scene, whatever, of this whole fucking year in film. That was just incredible. And like then when Hugenackers, I know I can't think of the act. Oh, that's the actor's name. But when you see his car, I'm like, who the fuck is that?
Yep.
And like he just now he's in on it. It's what a wild
I think his
scene.
character's name was Tim.
You're right. It was Tim. Yeah, you're right. Yep.
That whole Christmas Adventurers Club, like the cut to like Hark the Herald Angels sing in that mansion
Yeah.
and him walking as and the Christmas song keeps playing throughout the entire section. And
Yeah.
it fits so well. It was such a weird vibe, but I like that crazy weirdness. Like that's the shit that I love to see in movies.
Yeah.
Like things that I would never see before. Like it's so interesting and like oh my god, the whole chase sequence and like what like it felt like a very Coen Brothers thing when Tim takes out Lockjaw during the chase and he just tells him to
Yeah.
pull the window down. You get that one shot and then the way that that car flies off and the way it was shot with like the camera actually on it, so you're kind of going off
Yeah.
with it, so well done. But it's such like a Coen Brothers thing for like the main antagonist to be taken out. Like you would think this movie builds up to Bob versus Lockjaw,
Yes.
right? That's
Yeah.
what you would think, but nope. It's like a very like opposite thing.
We have one scene with them, and it lasts what, 30 seconds, a
30
minute?
seconds, but it's the scene that defines Lockjaw as a character,
Yeah.
where he's like,
Uh,
love black women, but like it's that like racial power structure that like ultimately gets him killed. Like it's so interesting when you go into it, because if you think about it, Lockjaw is this like that same archetypal character. It's like he can never admit who he truly is, and he will do anything in his power to avoid admitting it.
right.
And so
Like
he has
he's
to,
running from himself.
and so like the whole Christmas Adventures thing literally makes a plot where he's running from himself and like trying to clean up the side of him that he doesn't want to be out in the world, even though
Yeah.
that's who he truly is. Like that is like one of like the purest forms of evil, because like he's actively killing and getting rid of people to clean up his side of the situation, all because he thinks he has this higher power calling in this white supremacist group. It's like the most fundamentally fucked up thing ever.
Yeah.
But what's interesting is you have the whole relationship with him and Perfidia Beverly Hills, crazy name, at the beginning of the film, where it's like this weird like sexual power struggle, you know, where it's like
Oh, the fact that they
where
open and within minutes, yeah, he's
that's how
touching
you know you're
himself and
watching a
you're
Paul Thomas Anderson movie too.
crazy.
Yeah. But anyways, it's like he has no, she has this sexual power over him, right? Like
Yeah.
her sexual power can control him to do whatever. He has this racial power over her, where it's like his power as a white man and as a white military man like gives him so much control over her and her situation. And it's like it's ultimately that like that racial like power structure and him not being able to admit who he is that like truly kills him
Hmm.
when you know the Christmas adventurers kill him. And like he thinks he won, like he thinks he actually eradicated that side of him. And so when he has his feet up on the desk, the fact that like his death is like him feet up on the desk thinking he won, and like that's the final like position that he's in as a human being, like the shot of him being dragged out on the chair
Ooh,
and his feet are just in that catatonic, like it's literally perfect. Like there's no notes I could give it, it's literally perfect.
that shot of him being incinerated,
It's
like
awesome.
just played in my head. One thing, maybe it's like minor to you, but I gotta say, one thing that like I was in the theater, this one shot that made me go, wow, was Chase Infinity, Willa gets into the car of the Native American guy who just offended her. And there I was like, oh, this is a cool angle. She gets into the driver's seat and the camera is like sitting there. She closes the door and the camera just swings shut with the
Swings shut
door.
with it, right? Yeah.
I literally went, I was like, whoa. I was like, that's awesome. Like
I
again,
could
like
even tell from
immersive.
I could tell this from the moment of that first car chase with like the jungle pussy girl
Yes.
and Perfidia, like the that chase scene in the city. I was like, dude, the way this is shot, like I'm on the edge of my seat is anxious.
Hmm.
Like it's not shot like any car chase I've seen before. And the whole stuff in the desert, I've never seen the desert and cars shot like that before. It's just like this is just like an actual like groundbreaking movie. Like this is like where people are gonna pull from for like the next decade. It feels like this is like one of those defining movies of the decade, which is
That's
like
a good
that's.
point.
I'm just happy we have that now. You know, like I've been waiting to be this immersed in a movie since like Dune 2. Like some movies really got close to there, but I'd say like my top three movies this year are, you know, this, Eddington, and Weapons. Still probably that's probably like my
Hmm.
top three. You get Sinners in there for the top five. I got to figure out what like the others would be, but this is this so it's so specific, it's so interesting, it's so odd, it has so much heart, it has so much laughter in it, so much darkness. It just it feels like a PTA movie in all the right ways, and I'm a huge fan of his work, and so I love this movie. This is easily my favorite film of the year.
I mean, this says a lot about Warner Brothers this year. Like that they're taking, they're not just relying on IP.
They
Like
are no, they gave this guy in the ballpark of like 130 to 175 million to make
Yeah.
this wacky experimental revolutionary like war comedy drama. It's you can't really fully define this movie.
No. And the fact that they invested in Zach Kreger for Weapons and for Coogler for Sinners. And I think I'm leaving out another movie this year that they did that was like an original, well, it wasn't like an IP thing. It makes me excited to see like, well, they're drawing success with it and they know they don't just need to put out like a Barbie.
Yeah,
So
no.
it makes me excited to see like how much further Warner Brothers is going to go as opposed to, I mean, I love Disney, but Disney's just a bunch of sequels and it's like IP disaster. But like with Warner Brothers, it makes me more excited for them as like a studio that they're taking some chances.
It makes me really happy too.
Yeah.
Like these are the type of movies that I want to see, and this is the type of movie that we probably aren't gonna get again for like a couple of years.
Yeah.
Where it just like it feels like that this is one of those ones. Like I need to see this like three more times in a theater. Like when this leaves theaters and you don't have the chance to see it in theaters anymore, like it's like I feel like you're actually missing out on an opportunity to like see something really special.
I think it's probably going to have like a strong second week. I think there's going to be a
Yeah.
lot of good word of mouth.
And this is like one of those films that I'm just like I'm happy to be able to tell people in like the decades from now like that I got to see this in theaters.
Yeah.
Like this is one of
Yeah.
those ones that I saw in theaters and it was incredible.
That's true. No, I totally agree with you. Yeah. What do you think? I've been telling people this is going to be a movie as a way of like, hey, you should see this. Where for me, like almost like a selling point for certain people have been like when the awards come around, this will be that one of those movies like when
100%.
every
I think this
category
is
gonna
gonna
be
get
like,
PTA's first Oscar.
yeah, like I think it's gonna be one of those films like there's those movies when you watch the awards, you just keep hearing almost in every category the say, oh, there's another one for this movie and
Mm-hmm.
another one. I've tell people you're gonna hear this movie a lot, like in all the categories, just about every category. This
Mm-hmm.
movie's gonna have some sort of representation.
100%, dude.
Yeah.
100%.
Um,
This is special. This is across the board. Like Sean Penn's performance in this. This is that performance is gonna be looked at for years to come.
yeah.
And just even DiCaprio. Like I know, like what more can you say about DiCaprio? But almost 85% of his character is communicating through a telephone
Yeah,
in this
that's
movie,
true.
and he still brings so much to it, so much drama, so much comedy. I mean, the whole back and forth between him and the operator of the like one of the revolutionary groups, where he's just
My
calling him a
favorite.
prick, or like the hey
He
homie.
called him a fucking retard, and I
Yeah,
almost fell out of my seat
yeah.
laughing.
I was
Yeah.
thinking about you when I heard the retard thing. I was like,
I
that's gonna get
was
him.
dying during that.
Um, when
And then
he's
he's like, put on such and such, and then he's like, what kind of pussy do I like? And he goes, Mexican hairless. It's like
the way that that
Bob's,
was the one moment where he snapped it and knew everything.
yeah,
Like, yeah,
like Bob's so burnt out, but
that's what he
didn't forget
remembered.
that.
Yeah.
Didn't forget that. Yeah.
Or even when he does like the homie, what's up, homie? What's up, bro? Stuff with like
Oh my God, with the
the
kids.
kids. It's so good.
But he's so intense. Like, what's up, Holmes? Hey, okay. And then he just like the
Like
way he's talking to
only
him.
he can do that.
Yeah.
He brings such a special nuance to it. It really feels like Rick Dalton like on
Mm.
10. Like that way that he was just like bumbling, like moving through that performance, like he's like sleazing his way through this. Like
Oh,
it's insane.
when he dives on the mat,
And
I've
oh
seen
yeah.
that.
Oh yeah,
Oh
yeah.
my God. And what a beautiful, I know there's definitely one shot in this movie that I feel like if you can get a poster of it for your dorm, you'd put it up. It's the sequence where you see the silhouettes in the night of the kids skateboarding with Leo following.
Mm-hmm.
That is like one of those sequences where I'm like, oh, that's gonna be like
The night
that image
sky
is,
looks so pretty in this movie.
yeah. But
Everything
then
about this
they
movie looks so pretty.
But then to go back to what the movie does to just like pump the brakes is it's this beautiful scene and then boom, he falls
He
down.
falls down, and I don't know how they shot that because it doesn't cut.
Right.
I don't know
Yeah, I've heard that too.
how
Yeah.
like that looked really good. However, they did that stunts and special effects wise.
Yeah.
What the fuck? I was
And
really
then he
thinking in
gets
my head like
tased right
there
after.
was stuff happening that I didn't understand how it was shot, so it didn't make me
Yeah.
think of the filmmaking. I was just immersed. You know, it was just one of those things where it's like I'm not thinking about how they did this. I'm thinking about, oh my god, like I'm fucking immersed in this world.
Like holy shit, yeah. No, it's and that's what I love about that character is like you're cheering for him, but like he at no point is that perfect hero.
No,
Like
not at
like
all.
what you said, all the way at the end, he still doesn't catch up to her in time. And as a viewer and somebody who is cheering for him, when she's on the other side of the road, he went, no, 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 no. When they pass, I was like, oh my God. And like he clearly, I'm like,
To
he's not
me,
gonna
like
catch up to
I
her.
was thinking of the beginning when like Perfidy is walking the one way and he's walking the other.
Good
I
call.
was thinking of like the comparisons to that, like
Good
how
call.
moments pass. There's so much nuance to this movie. There's so much like, again, it was kind of what I was talking about when we were reviewing Peacemaker before. Like the more specificity, the more choices made, the better. And this is like there's so many specific little nuanced choices made in this movie. Whether
Yeah.
that be acting choices, character choices, writing choices, like whole writing choices, like the whole Christmas Adventure Club thing, like where it's like that's so wacky and I feel like that would not work, but it works so well for some reason.
And I'm just gonna highlight it really quickly. I just love you said that this movie is better than sex during your letterbox review. I screenshotted that and
I
I showed it to people.
anytime something just immerses me like that and I could just like evaporate out of the seat and I'm just like glued to whatever story's happening, that's when I know I'm watching something special. It's not like, oh, I'm just
Yeah.
watching a well-made movie. I'm watching something special. Like this is one of the ones. This is it, you know?
Yeah. No,
And that's always
I
a fun
completely agree.
experience. Like when you know you're watching that and you can just sit back and enjoy and live in the moment, it's there's no better high than that when it comes to going to the cinema.
What was your theater experience like at the Music Box? I know you
So
said
much
it was pretty
fun.
wild.
People were dressed up in robes. It was like
That's
a
cool.
special event. Like I actually for the first time got like popcorn in a very long time. Like it felt like an
Yeah.
actual event. It didn't feel like I was renting a chair for an hour. It felt like I was going to like an event with fans and people who like really wanted to be there and like were
Like a
excited.
party almost.
Yeah, like it was
Yeah.
the same kind of feeling when I saw Terrifier 3 and I'm with the fans and people are talking and like it feels like it doesn't feel like it feels more like I'm going to an event. It feels like a special night out
Right.
compared to I'm renting a chair for an hour at my local chain cinema.
Were there like loud reactions in your theater?
Oh yeah, when he goes Viva la Revolucion, everyone cheered, clapped, like
Yeah.
everyone was clapping. When you find out that Willa's Lockjaw's baby, like people were going crazy. That's another scene I wanted to highlight. When she's across
Oof.
the cathedral and he's sitting down in like the throne like chair and that loud
Yes.
like dramatic ass music spike hits and he's like come closer. It's like how does this work so well? It's like so dramatic, so goofy, but it
He's like
works
the
so
Emperor in
well.
Star Wars or
Yeah, like
something.
it feels like
Yeah.
that. Like it's so weird, oddball specific, but it works for some reason. It just fucking works.
So I'm assuming knowing you so well, this definitely had your brain like firing afterwards, like for your own self.
Yes.
Not just I want to write, but I'm thinking this movie is going to have, like I've spoken to you before, and you're like we've spoken about things you've written or that you are writing, where I went, oh, is that little inspiration from this? And you're like, oh yeah. Like I can see how like for you as somebody who's creating and you're in film and can continue to pursue that, that this is probably going to be a movie that is going to,
I love to see movies where characters don't really change.
yeah.
There's a lot of characters in the script that don't change. They stay like the same from beginning to end, just like I think Leo's character Bob does, or Perfidia or for as an example. But I love when movies just have the balls to not make their characters change because in every screenwriting class I'm told, change is the fundamental thing about a story, and I'm like, nah, I don't agree.
Yeah.
I think sometimes in stories people don't change because in real life people don't just change like that.
Right.
It doesn't just happen in a day. So
Or some people just don't change,
seeing
period.
like epic sagas like this where it's just like you are who you are and you can't
Yeah.
really run from that. Like it's very interesting and it was so immersive. Like these are the type of this is why I want to make movies is like the movies
Yeah.
like this is the special ones like this. Like I want to be able to create one of my own versions of these one day, the type of movies where it's like you could sell out a crowd at a local art house theater and people's nights. It feels like an event, like an electric event, like a sporting
Yeah.
event.
There's no better like thrill for me then
Yeah.
that, yeah,
Like that's why I
absolutely.
wanted you to see it in IMAX. I didn't want you to just have a regular chain experience
Yeah.
for this.
Yeah, I wanted to see it right away.
No, I know.
I wanted to see it immediately.
Do you kind of
And
regret seeing it regularly first?
no, no, I don't, just because like I really just wanted to see it.
Mm-hmm.
Like I didn't I walked out knowing exactly why you said to see it in IMAX, but I still didn't go like, oh man, I should have, like I was so glad I saw it, but I think it's just because of how much I enjoy the movie.
Mm-hmm.
Like I didn't regret seeing it, but it definitely motivated me. I knew I was going to see this movie more than once, but regardless, I had that feel going in. But coming out, I'm like, oh yeah, now I definitely have to see it in IMAX. But I didn't regret it just because I
You
was
also have to
glad.
watch the other Paul Thomas Anderson movies.
I know, yeah. Um,
Like this, the score for this film is very similar to Punch Drunk Love, the one he made with Adam
okay.
Sandler. It's very
Yeah,
similar,
yeah.
very similar.
But do you have anything else to say before we go into a
I can talk
riff
about these
rating?
like
I know you
performances all
can.
day.
Yeah.
Like the Sean Penn Penguin walk, the walk that he's doing, the way
That's
his
the Vince McMahon walk.
yeah,
If you watch Vince McMahon
that's what
walk,
I
it's
heard. Yeah,
very, yes, yeah.
the way his veins are popping out, like just the things like the line about like why is your shirt so tight, and he's like I'm not a homosexual. Like that's your
He's
response,
oh
or like when he's grabbing her and he's like I'm a Christmas adventurer, like I have a higher calling. Like those lines are never gonna leave my brain for a very long
how
time.
how good was it when he talked about he was raped in reverse?
And he's like a semen demon. Like the fact that
The guy just knew.
like an epic of like this decade, it
Yeah.
features the line semen demon.
That's what it goes. But you had a
It's like
really good
you
point.
can't
Sorry.
like explain what this movie is. Like it is a
Right.
fucking like enigma that just works. I don't know.
You had a really good point in saying that there at different points, especially then, it feels like South Park.
It literally felt like that to me. Like the entire
Yeah,
Christmas adventure sequence felt like when you meet the villain group of a South Park episode.
right. No, I know,
You know
and
what
I'm
I
not even
mean?
a big. I love South Park, but I'm not like a big South Park
Yeah,
fan.
it's one of
I'm
my
not,
favorite shows.
but I know exactly what you're talking about. Like it makes 100% sense exactly what you're saying. I couldn't agree more. That's actually
I
a
just
phenomenal.
the way they were able to be so serious about what they were talking about.
Right.
It was like,
For
oh my god.
for something so just like ridiculous and
Yes.
destructive.
Yes.
Yeah.
I don't
Um,
even like there's just like certain like scenes from this film that are also just gonna live in my head. Like the scene where Jungle Pussy's like giving her speech
mhm.
at that I think it was like a bank or something like
It
that.
was at a bank.
And the
Yeah.
way the camera is dollying as she's like walking across the desk and like following her, it just feels like it's coming from a director and from a movie that like shouldn't exist in our modern era. Like it feels like this is the best way you could have shot this scene, and like a lesser director, a lesser movie wouldn't have shot it this way. You
Right.
know? And I was even
No.
trying to look up like the cinematography credits from Michael Bauman. Like I think he shot Licorice Pizza, which was
Mhm.
PTA's last movie before this, which is also really good. That has Cooper Hoffman in it. But the music by Johnny Greenwood, like incredible. And Michael Bauman, who's a cinematography, like he didn't have many other credits, but it's like you would think this movie was shot by like a master of cinematography.
Yeah.
Like the way he has such an understanding over visual storytelling and shooting things from a perspective that hasn't been done before. It's just like holy shit. Like it's really progressive for the film industry, I think. And I also saw that PTA shot some of this film himself too.
Oh,
Cause
really?
yeah, cause Phantom Thread is one of his movies. Like he shot that all on his own, just him. Like he has a
Wow.
very deep understanding of cameras and lens, even more than I
Yeah.
do. And like I hear him nerd out about that shit, and I'm like, holy fuck, I wish I could do that. Like I want to be able to have that type of hold over cinema that like he does. It's not just storytelling and directing that he like knows. He knows everything. He's very
Wow.
into the specifics of it, and like that type of art is so cool. But yeah, it's across the board. This is one of the best movies I've seen in quite a long time. It felt like I was watching something really special. Like I know it's something special when it's like, wow, I want popcorn for this.
Yeah. Oh, I knew going in because I've been much better about not getting popcorn every fucking time I go to the movies. I told myself, no, this is a big popcorn day. This
Yeah.
is a popcorn movie.
Do you have anything
Like I
else you
knew
want to add?
I don't. No, I'm good if you want to. get into our riff rating, unless
Sure. I mean,
you have
I feel
anything
like I
else.
talked about like the themes. Like, there's so many themes here, just from like the different power structures and hierarchies, which whether it be like sexual, racial, everything, like how that all speaks to the story and the way that characters' presences loom throughout it. It's like this is literally a perfect movie. It's so perfect. I just want to write after this. Like I want to write
Yeah.
shit. I'm so pumped up.
No, I love that for you too. When you get like that, because I knew I'm like when you raved about this, I was like, this is gonna be a movie that is gonna
No, because I'm very
influence.
selective of what type of movies I do that with.
Yeah,
It's one movie every once in a while.
yeah, that's great. So I feel like I know your riff rating.
I know, but it's kind of tough because I gave Weapons a 10, and I think I gave Editing like an 8 or a 9,
I think he gave it an eight or yeah, eight. I think he gave it an eight.
or something like that. And so it is almost kind of like I feel like after I know the riff rating should just be how we feel in the moment about it, but like even my thoughts kind of changing. I feel like me giving this movie a 10 kind of breaks the other ones because I kind of like this movie the best.
No, but we could open this up to something different and say there's 1 to 10. But if you want to express how much stronger this movie is, you can go be like, I'm gonna give it a 12 instead. Like
Not
as a
even
way
like
of
that.
saying
Like
like it even goes beyond the scale.
this is like on my scale, like a 10 out of 10 out of 10 out of 10 across everything. Like there's not one valid complaint I have about this
Yeah.
film. Like movies like Weapons that I give a 10, like I had some criticisms to that, especially after the rewatch. I haven't rewatched this one yet. Like I saw Weapons 3 to 4 times in theaters, so I have a very nuanced opinion on my rewatches of that and how it
Yeah.
changes things. This, as of just seeing it once, and I've had about half a week to really mull about it. Like this is a perfect film to me, so I have to give it a 10. But just being more specific, this is the top of the scale. Like this is what we should be comparing everything on top of the scale to.
Yeah. Weapons at the moment is still my favorite movie of the year, but I'm giving this a 10. Yeah. I'm still giving it a 10 just like Weapons. I like Weapons better, I just do. But I'm right there with
This is
you.
more like my type of thing than Weapons.
Oh, it definitely is. Yeah,
Yeah,
but like I'm giving it a 10. Like I gave Weapons a 10. I'm still giving this a 10. Maybe not like as hard as you are, but absolutely this
yeah.
movie. Again, this will be a movie that, as I've told people, you're just gonna hear when they announce a category, one battle after another for it. It's just it's gonna rack up the
It's one of those ones where
nominations.
it's obvious. It's like, oh yeah, of
Yeah.
course.
And we're in a cool time of year because now we've got Smashing Machine.
That's next week,
We've
right?
That's next week. I mean, no matter how you feel about them, I mean, I think we're going to be talking. I think there's going to be a lot of eyes on Deliver Me from Nowhere, especially coming off of Chalamet last year as Bob Dylan.
Yeah,
I think now it's
definitely,
going to be a lot of eyes on this.
definitely.
Um, and then we've got something else big coming out. Oh, it may not be our thing, but we have Avatar on the way. So it's like we've got some heavy, and I'm leaving shit out, but we've got some like heavy hitters coming out the rest of this year. Um,
100%.
and then we're doing the film festival. So, we got Begonia soon.
We
We've got
have
a good
we
couple of
have a
months.
lot. This is our busy time of the year.
Yeah. Yeah.
This
I
is
know.
like
It's
our
like
busy
what
time.
used to be like a dump month in October is becoming like a huge month,
It's just,
or it has
now that
become
we're
a huge
diving
month.
into the festival side of things, it's like a whole
Yeah.
different ball game.
Yeah, and does was the Daniel Day-Lewis's movie? Is that this year?
Anemone.
His son's film?
Yeah, I think so. I got to look at the release date, but I love the
All right.
trailer for that. That looks great.
I didn't even watch it. I think I was like,
That was
I'm
one of those
staying away.
trailers where it was like it got me in the right way. Okay, so I like how you're selective about these trailers now.
I mean, I think yeah, I'm not diving as quick. Even The Bride, like I want to see. I think it's The
Oh,
Bride.
Maggie
I
Gyllenhaal's movie.
Yeah,
Yeah,
like I kind of like didn't pay attention to it in the theater. I'm like, nah, there's enough about this that makes me just want to
I
see it.
do want to point out. Now that we're talking about it, I do want to point out one movie that's coming out that I'm really curious about. And I want people to know about it. It's called I think it's being distributed by Neon. It's called Shelby Oaks.
Ooh, yeah.
That is Chris Stuckman's movie. He's one of my favorite YouTube reviewers for films. Always has been ever since I was really young. I've watched him for like years upon years now. And so this is a fully like guerrilla warfare makeshift like movie, like guerrilla filmmaking to its T, like very like it's crowd funded, everything. Mike Flanagan and him like kind of like Mike Flanagan kind of produced it for him, and I want to put that on your map. It looks really good. I
Yeah.
think it has to do with like found footage horror
It looks scary as
plays into it.
shit.
Yeah, it does look really good. So that's coming
Fucking
out sometime
scary.
in October.
Even,
Definitely,
I'm
that's
sorry,
definitely one I want to review.
like October 3rd next week, say what you will about the movie, but to its credit, its viral, um, the way it went viral made it a national release is like even that movie Good Boy,
Oh, is that
like
this week coming out?
that comes out somewhere in the beginning of October, I believe.
Okay.
Just the fact that like that movie, which I think is cool, and even if people don't, they think it might be silly, but the fact that that movie was going to have a very limited release, and the online response was so big that now it's getting like a worldwide release,
Yeah.
like that has me interested in seeing that movie, like probably in theaters. So it's cool, like that. Like you brought up Shelby Oaks, and now that made me think of that in terms of what's on the like not the big, like $300 million films that are coming out, but are still worth keeping. And I was Shelby Oaks. I remember you told me about Chris Stuckman when we saw it together, literally the movie together. And that sold me right away. I was like, oh, just the idea of the film and how it was made. Like I'm totally in on
We're
seeing it. Looks,
seeing the YouTube to director like stream happening now. Like this is a
yeah.
possible route. Like we saw of Raka Raka, who were the brothers who made Bring Her Back and Talk to Me.
Oh yeah, I can't. The
They're
Philippou
YouTubers.
brothers,
Yeah.
the Philippous.
So
Yeah,
their YouTube was Raka Raka, and now they're like
right.
directors for these big distributors.
Yeah, this is gonna be a cool year to review.
Yeah,
Like when we
we're gonna be
stretch
having a lot of podcasts coming out.
Yeah, when we stretch all the way back to the beginning and talk about some of these movies like Warfare and whatnot, and Sinners, which now feels like an eternity ago, but it's just a few months ago. Like it's funny, people thought 2025 was going to be an okay year. I don't know. I thought this has been a great year for film, I think. And then we still have
I agree.
Begonia
This is
in less
I
than a
can't
month.
complain.
Yeah. So Frankenstein, Begonia, there's still some like big like movies to come out. So, but well, we're
So
good
you're
here.
giving this a 10?
I'm giving it a 10.
Okay.
Yeah. You got it all out for now?
I did.
Yeah,
I
I
did.
knew you were
That's
gonna.
what I had to do.
Yeah. Well, thank you for listening, joining us for a review of one battle after another. Please don't forget to like, subscribe, comment, share, 5-star reviews, word of mouth, all that shit. My name is Bill Markey.
My name's Thomas Angelo. Thank you for watching and listening.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.